Ok, pueden avanzar. Yo voy detrás de ustedes. Gracias. Sí, nomás.
Y si anda en busca de repuestos de moto o bicicleta, también te ofrecemos un alto stock de repuesto. Pregunte por nuestros precios, que son los más bajos del mercado. Barbería La Gran Sultana y Repuestos El Chepe te saludan.
98 años de éxitos, 98 años gracias a vos. Ferretería Lugo te invita a celebrar su aniversario número 98. Del 29 de noviembre al 7 de diciembre nos celebramos en grande. Tendremos muchas sorpresas por todas las compras, descuentos, rifas, regalos y mucho más. Ven y aprovecha. Compra a precios de locura. Ferretería Lugo, 98 años brindando soluciones. Radio 102.9 FM.
Ya totalizando las 10 de la mañana con 35 minutos, 10 de la mañana con 35 minutos, miércoles, y más mensajería de texto al 8457-8470.
Así es, Reinaldo, yo sigo más con la mensajería de texto. Hola, quiero amigas al número 89 92 43 66. Repito el número de Justin. El número de Justin es 89 92 43 66. Solo mujeres que le chateen a Justin. Hola, quiero amigas, solo mujeres al número 84 89 66 86. Repito el número de este chico, 84 89 66 86. A ver, Francisco Marino, que no tiene por ahí.
Saludos para Francisco. Gracias por estar con nosotros.
Sí, yo quiero agradecerle los mensajitos bonitos y lindos que me estás mandando, muchachos, ahí un poquito. Aló, buenos días.
Aló.
¿Cuál?
Aquí, Reinaldo, que está peleando el tema.
Mirando también la combinación perfecta, algo de romántica.
Aquí es Reinaldo, un poquito de romanticismo por aquí. Ahora acabar y un poquito más con la mentalidad. Hasta ahí se me cargó el teléfono para todos esos chavalos que están mandando mensajes.
Estamos ya en el punto de espera para subir al botecito que nos va a llevar al tour. La nena empezó a llorar ahora otra vez. Al fondo está el mombacho, que está cubierto por mucha neblina, parece mucho. Preciosa, está sofocada, quiere que mami la cargue. Pero bueno, para acá atrás tenemos el gran lago de Nicaragua. Future home del canal de Nicaragua.
Is it your first time in Nicaragua? Primera vez en Nicaragua?
Primera vez.
Welcome. Have a great stay in my country, guys. And I hope you really enjoy it. How is so far?
Muy bien,
¿A la fecha le gusta Nicaragua?
muy bien.
Very cool.
Muy,
Nicaragua.
muy natural todo. Very natural, everything.
Yes. I would say in my country, it still preserves the culture, religion, food, tradition, everything. We haven't changed, right? And that's very good for a country who wants to preserve its identity. That's we are Nicaragua. We still practice our ancient tradition. All that is a great secret. So, the great secret en español es un calzón blanco. It's one of the largest pearl species or egret species. They can dive into the water just using the beak. They go for fishing, but spirit. Right? And the large legs helping to accustom to this type of habitat. And the wetland, marsh, lakes and rivers. Nicaragua is the most famous country in Central America. It's the land of lakes and volcanoes. That's the most famous phrase in the country. La tierra de lagos y volcanes, la frase más famosa en mi país. We have a lot of volcanoes, 16 volcanoes, 7 volcanoes are active, and the 2 largest lakes. Just so when I introduce, the largest one is Lake Nicaragua or Lake Cociboca. My indigenous or my ancestors, they call the Lake Nicaragua Cociboca, which means oval in shape, where at the bottom there's a snake or fresh water. So there are so many meanings because the indigenous, they used to speak Nahuatl. This Nahuatl, it came from Aztec culture. Las Isletas de Granada, I would say it's one of the most attractive or one of the most touristic destinations in Nicaragua. So Las Isletas is just located to the southeast of Granada City, which where I am from. I grew up in Granada City. I also studied in Granada, and I'm really proud to be from Granada, the most beautiful and architectural colonial city in Nicaragua, which is called the oldest one in mainland by Spain, in 1524. There are about 365 volcanic islands that surrounds an archipelago. According to volcanologists, 15 or 20,000 years ago, Bombacho volcano is a big mountain that we're gonna see over there. This type of volcano is stratovolcano, and the type of volcanic eruption is called Stromboliano. The name came from Stromboli volcano because when they blew up, they made a massive volcanic eruption, throwing big pieces of volcanic rocks and too much volcanic ash. Perhaps it's pretty similar to the type of volcanic explosion from Volcano Vesuvio in Italy that about 2,000 years covered the city by volcanic eruption. Las Isletas de Granada, voy a hablar español porque hablan español. Las Isletas de Granada es uno de los atractivos turísticos y naturales en Nicaragua, quizás uno de los principales en mi ciudad. Las isletas hay más de 360 islotes o isletas de origen volcánico que bordean una península o un archipiélago que sobresale proveniente de tierra firme. Según los volcanólogos, quizás hace unos 15.000, 20.000 años atrás, las isletas fueron formadas producto de una erupción piroclástica del volcán Mombacho, miles de años, formando esta belleza natural que estamos apreciando en su entorno. En ella habitan más de 2.000 personas. Estas son llamados isleños. Son personas nativas que han vivido de generación en generación y su principal actividad económica es la pesca. A diario van a buscar ellos. El pez más común que se pesca y por cierto es muy sabroso que ustedes deberían de probar, se llama guapote. Guapote es una especie de sábalo de agua dulce pequeño. El guapote puede crecer hasta tamaño. Ellos están pescando. They are fishermen. They are fishing. Fishing is the main economic activity from those people. The native families, they have been fishing for many years ago. So about 2,000 people live in those volcanic islands. They do it for a living, right? Tomorrow morning, after fishing the whole day, because fishing is really hard work, they spend hours fishing in the middle of the lake. Well, tomorrow morning they're gonna go to the downtown for sale. They sell fishes. In Granada there are a lot of seafood restaurants that they fry up really good. Guapote is the most common fish in the lake. Guapote. Guapote is freshwater bass. So pass like this, right? Perhaps like 14 to 15. You can edit. En Estados Unidos?
Yo he estado 28 años. 28 años.
¿Usted es de Puerto Rico también?
No, yo soy de Nicaragua.
Oh.
Yeah.
¿De qué? ¿Granada, Managua?
Managua, sí. Entonces, ando con mi esposa, con mi suegra, que son de Puerto Rico. Ellas son de Puerto Rico, mi nena está...
Tiene una mezcla puertorriqueña y
nicaragüense, yeah.
What part of the United States are you from? Indiana.
¿Por qué te lo tomaste tú, peor?
Is there how much sport fishing up here? For anglers? I mean, it's the other side of the world.
Right now, we don't sport fishing. But before, like 45 years ago, a Chinese company, they fished thousands of sharks because the lake Nicaragua, it's one of the most famous freshwater lakes in the world because we have bull sharks. But those bull sharks, perhaps it took thousands of years of process, 1,000 of evolution process, physiological process, because they adapted living inside of the freshwater lakes and brackish water. Right now, there's a few population of sharks living at the deepest point. Perhaps over 400 or 300, example of bull sharks. But 100 years, a lot of sharks that used to dominate, or swim in a dive or swim in the shallow water. Nobody used to go for swimming. Now it's safe to go for swimming. But the Chinese, they kill thousands of sharks because the shark fins, the fins of the sharks were exported to make this. The most famous aphrodisia shark fins in Japan and China. Well, that's why right now they are endangered. Well, now we protect them. Some fishermen, they are fishing sharks. They could get in prison like 10 or 9 years.
Bote, other places, it's a big sport fishing, right? Riding the real
right.
Go for that. Up here, they're not so big, right?
You're right. Well, botes, we don't sport it, just for a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And places in Zapatera and they don't fish much.
Yeah, down by like Rio San Juan.
Rio San Juan. Harpoons, snooks. People from Managua, Carazo, Vivas, Masaya, Granada, they came to the lake Grabado for swimming. They just drove out from those places, those cities to Granada, taking the family. Right at like 4 or 5 p.m. and just back to home. That's right. But right now, I would say that the shores of the Lake Nicaragua, it's really polluted. First, by companies and by city sewage. All the trash, the sewage from Granada City, many companies in Granada. These pours now, these drains now, all of that contamination that polluted the shores of the lake. Right now, it's not recommended to swim in the shores of the lake. You down there, right? Because you could getting rushed. You know, perhaps if you're sensitive to skin, once you are swimming in the polluted water, you cannot rush. That's a big problem, right? We have been collecting the trash, garbage. But most people, they don't make conscious of themselves. They don't make them aware. That's a big problem that we have to teach them from kindergarten. Don't throw the garbage and into place, into any natural places, right? When I'm talking about the massive volcanic explosion, 1,000 meters, you can tell how many rocks that are all around. For example, you see those big volcanic rocks around here, perhaps like 15 or 20 kilometers around the volcanic explosion. During the dry season, summer, water gets windy, because when it's really windy, the water goes straight to the Caribbean Sea, and the shores of the lake look so completely shallow water, and the water level get low, and so many volcanic rocks you can see. But when it's rainy season, when it rains a lot, perhaps like 700 or 900 rainfall, rains almost 6 hours a day, the water level change, it rises up. And boat drivers, they know where are driving through. Otherwise, it could crash into the rocks. That's no good idea. No Titanic. No iceberg, but rocks. Those, for example, you see the country cross. It's a sign which means they leave the monster right like 5 or 50 meters away from us. That. La familia Pelas son los multimillonarios de Nicaragua. Ellos son los dueños de la Toña, Victoria, Rufo de Caña, tienen muchísimo negocio. Importa también Suzuki, Yamaha, es la famosa Casa Pela. Esta es de la familia Pelas. Es una isla vacacional de ellos. Solo la visitan cuando quieren relajarse. The family Pelas, they are the richest family in Nicaragua. I mean, they have a lot of business. Car companies, they import Toyota, Yamaha, in Nicaragua. They own the most famous Rufo de Caña road. The sugar plantations are located in Chinandega. Chichigalpa is the first located, the biggest company in Rufo de Caña. Sugarcane, it's one of the most economic activities for exportation. After coffee, tobacco, and plantains. Agriculture is the biggest industry in my country. The second one is tourism. Right now, every single year, a lot of tourists visit my country, and they take land from the mountains. You know, when you're staying in the country, you get a lot of different touristic services like bar, restaurant, operators. It means the economy of Nicaragua is getting better step by step. And the third one is mining. We have other. It's so beautiful, this island. Perhaps everyone can buy an island. I mean, in 1870s and 1980s, Nicaragua began a civil war. The first one, it was against the dictatorship. The family Somoza, about for 42 years. The family Somoza, they took over the country. And now the second civil war, it was Contra versus Sandinistas. The most famous civil war around Contra was financed, support, and trained by United States government, Ronald Reagan, right? And my country became bankrupt, right? We were getting a lot of thousands of Nicaraguans, they were migrating to Costa Rica, United States, Canada, and they say the real estate business, let's go to Nicaragua, we're gonna do a big deal, let's get a big cat, let's get a big fish. That's why islands like this are for sale. by the past, right? And now everyone can buy the island. If you are pretty interested, just raise your hands and I will let you know how much it costs. 4 or 5% for me is not bad. Así es.
Explícale lo de las islas en español.
Sí, sí. Bueno, las Isletas de Granada, como estaba observando sobre la isla de Los Velas, se me preguntaba si se podía comprar. Sí, claro, en 1970, en los 80, Nicaragua pasaba por conflictos políticos y militares. Eso fue la reacción de muchísimos, miles de personas migraron a países como Costa Rica, Estados Unidos, Canadá, Europa. Las compañías de bienes raíces comenzaron a comprar, a comprársela a las personas nativas. Quizás en una isla como esa, quizás antes hace unos 25 años, 30 años, la vendieron en $30,000, $40,000. Hoy en día una isla ya acondicionada y todo cuesta más de $400,000. This is when I introduced the Fortress San Pablo. Is one of the historical heritage buildings in Granada City. In Granada City in 1524 it was founded by Spaniards. The city of Granada, a couple, perhaps like 50 or 90 years after, the city became pretty important. Perhaps by its location, because it's pretty easy to get to the Caribbean Sea through the river San Juan. And we had a tiny land which is called Rivas. In 100 years, it became the most important interoceanic canal by Americans. When in 1849, in the United States, in California, Americans, they found gold, the gold rush. They needed how to come from east to west, but it was pretty dangerous to cross from west to east. Well, Nicaragua had an important transoceanic canal. Thousands of Americans, they crossed the Caribbean Sea through the river San Juan, up the lake Nicaragua, and then crossed by the state coast to the Pacific, and then continue shipping up to California. That happened over 90 years. But in 1857, 1856, the city of Granada was set fire by William Walker, the guy who wanted to be the king of the president of Nicaragua, but just for 1 month, because all the Central American countries, they kicked him out of the country. But the Fortress San Pablo before was built in 1780 in order to protect the city of Granada from pirates. One of the most famous pirates, it was the English pirate Captain Morgan, Dutch pirates and French pirates. They wanted to attack and set fire to the city of Granada because Granada used to be one of the wealthy cities in Latin America by commercial. All of the supplies and goods from Spain and Europe, it used to come up from the sea, up the lake Nicaragua to Granada, supplying the rest of the Central American countries. That what all the pirates realized about to Granada and say, oh, that's a great target. Let's go. That was in order to protect Granada City. Right now it's an old building. Ahora voy a explicar en español para que se sepa.
Doña Hilda, va a explicar en español.
La fue construida con solo el objetivo de proteger a la ciudad de Granada contra los ataques piratas. Cuando Granada fue fundada en 1524, los españoles se dieron cuenta que había un desaguadero. Ese es el río San Juan. Se convirtió Granada en la principal ciudad-puerto en Centroamérica, quizás también en Latinoamérica, porque Granada conectaba con la ruta de comercio con países como Chile, Perú, por el Pacífico. Para 1849, cuando Estados Unidos descubrieron la fiebre del oro en California, era muy peligroso cruzar el este hacia el oeste, sino que usaron esta ruta marítima. El lago se conecta con el Caribe por el río San Juan y en Rivas. You can see that hundreds of teeth are rattled by them. And the first one, the teeth are really sharp. Once they taste, the new one comes out. Perhaps this is a female bull shark. The female are so big, they grab bigger than males. A female one can grab like 3 fingers maybe that. So at the beginning of winter, right, and you find it kind of shallow water where people go.
Este es el gran lago de Nicaragua.
Esta es una tortuga caray, fue encontrada en el lago, pero muerta. En el lago no tenemos estas especies, son marítimas, pero ella fue víctima de la sobrepesca que está pasando ahorita en el Caribe. Muchos barcos pesqueros y más que todos los mezquitos, los ramas, los criollos, ellos preparan sus alimentos provenientes de tortugas.
¿Todavía lo permiten? ¿Todavía?
Es ilegal, pero aún no existe una verdadera observación, como por ejemplo los tiburones. Los tiburones es ilegal, eso sí. Aquí a veces se ven las patrullas marítimas de la naval. Si alguien está pescando tiburones, pez sierra, hay vedas de gaspar. Y otras especies que están protegidas que se paga en la prisión.
Prisión, ok.
Esta es una tortuga de agua dulce. Esta es grandecita. Esta a veces se ve cuando ya salen a la superficie para absorber aire y después sumergirse al agua por quizás unos 15 o 12 minutos. Esta es la mandíbula de un tiburón toro, o sea, se cree que es una hembra. Las hembras pueden crecer hasta 3 metros y medio. Los machos son pequeños. Ellos no se aparean en este lago, sino que tienen que regresar al Caribe.
¿Esos son los que hay aquí en este lago?
Sí. Estos son...
Todavía hay, ¿verdad?
Hay una poca población, no hay muchísimo como antes.